Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me for Kasia's World. Today, I have a fabulous friend of mine, Louis VanAmstel, and I'm sure all of you probably already know him either from Golden World or Dancing with the Stars or any of the incredible things he does. So, hello, my friends. Thank you for being here with me.
Hi, Kasia. Thank you for having me and asking me to be part of your voice.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm excited. I mean, yes, if you have ballroom dance friends, that's been my career from pretty much the age of 10, being a social dancer and then having a career. And then in 2005, I joined Dancing with the Stars for 10 seasons, 10 years. And now, believe it or not, I am doing ballroom dancing, but in fitness. And I have been in the fitness industry now for 10 years. And if you would have asked me 11 years ago, you're going into the fitness industry, I would have said, you are crazy. But I'm in there, I'm addicted, I love it. And you know what I love? I'm not going to mention any names, but if I see many of my peers from my time, I wonder what happened.
I know.
So I feel fitness keeps you in the best shape of your life. You're looking at yourself more. Okay, what am I going to do with myself when I'm older? How can I stay in shape? So having a company, La Blast, that's based on ballroom dancing, partner free, and all components of physical fitness, since then, I'm in the same shape as when I was competing with Julie or Karina, or when you and I were dancing.
Yes.
So it's really lovely where I am right now, and if we're going personal, we are about to adopt our second son. And
Congratulations. That's so fabulous.
thank you. We actually got the last step is the Utah approval so that our second son can move from another state to our state and we can take placement. So we can call him our
Your son.
unofficial son. No, it's a long process. So it's a lot of bureaucracy, but we did all the paperwork. We've met with him now over FaceTime for almost a month now. Once he is in our home, and we hope that we can take placement of him on Father's Day.
Oh my God, that would be so
We're
great, right?
crossing our fingers. Then for 6 months, he has to be in our home. And after 6 months, we can go to court. And the reason why we want to take placement with him, of Father's Day, because 6 months later will be the last week before Christmas. So there is a very good chance that we can go to court 1 week before Christmas. So he can enjoy Christmas in his forever home, which will be for the rest of his life. He's going to be stuck with us.
Oh my God, I am so proud of you. Just you can't even imagine knowing you for we know each other for so many years, right?
Now, a few years, who's counting?
That's it, exactly. We're still young, looking good, right? Thank God. As friends, we danced together, and I am so happy to see you being so happy, having your husband, having your first son, and there have been some unfortunate circumstance, right, at school and stuff that we've been aware of, and fighting, being such a fabulous father, right? It's
Thank you.
so incredible, and spreading the love and joy, and just even some of the conversations we had about having kids, and how to have kids, who have the kids with, how to raise the kids. Yeah, that's so awesome. And
Everyone has their own story, and everyone who wants to have a child, whether it's a same-sex couple, a single woman, working mom, working dad,
right.
if you have the means to, I would encourage anyone to become a parent. We adopted a 10-year-old, so that's older, because many times when you adopt, people want a baby. Because if you can't have your own, you want to have a baby because then it feels as close to being a real biological parent. Well, I'm here to tell you, whether it's a 10-year-old or a baby, do not touch my child. Do not bully my child, because Papa Bear comes out. And we had a story in Daniel's school in November, and it went viral. And we are friends now here in Utah. They say, oh, we don't want to piss you off because you will come after us. Oh, yes, we will. If you bully our child or any other person, no one deserves to be bullied no, everyone deserves to have a forever home. And there are 500,000 kids in foster care.
Okay.
So we're only adopting two because with our lifestyle, but that's another thing though. And you are as busy as me and you have your personal plans. And you can find 10 reasons why not to adopt because of lifestyle, because of traveling. If you want it, you find a way. And that's what we've done. And I am traveling more now before COVID-19 than I did before. And we found a way to make it work. And if you want it, you'll make it happen. And what I love about having older kids, they can travel. Daniel saw 3 countries in Europe, 5 states within the first 6 months of his time with us. So yeah,
I think
I'm happy.
what's so great, and I think, coming from Europe, we are much more open to, like, my outtake is, and I would like to have kids, and I'm planning to have kids in the future. I don't think that we come to child's life, the child comes to our life. So we are not afraid, oh my God, you have to stay home and you cannot do this. You just take your kid, you show them the world, you create a life together, right?
Oh,
Yes,
and
of course,
yeah,
your life changes, absolutely. And that's why you want to have a child, right? Because you want
yeah,
it, you want to welcome them, but it doesn't mean your life has to completely disappear because there's so many people like, oh my God, everything is going to change. You're not going to be able to do or have what you already created. I'm like, I'm not planning on leaving my life. I'm not planning to die myself just because I have a child. I'm
yeah,
going to have a child engaging in everything I do. Like that's what our parents did.
yeah,
My
yeah.
parents worked, right? And I am
Make it
perfectly
work.
fine. They did not have to stay
Yeah.
home. They did not. Now, if you choose to, I'm not saying that you shouldn't, if that's a choice. But I think people sometimes get scared because they only see limitations.
And there's no need. And between you and I being, well, what you would become a new parent. I am just a new parent. But where I teach at Cinema Ballroom with Michelle and Eric Hudson in Minnesota, they have 2 kids. They own a dance studio, and they now own a competition. And the same with Colorado Dance Sport. Harmony and Toby, they have 2 kids, own a very successful dance studio. My friends in Colorado Springs, Golden Parker has 2 kids, owns a dance studio. I mean, really, if you want it, you make it happen. And to me, it's such a great balance. It's such a yin yang. I'm 47 now, and I finally feel I have the balanced life. Not of a gypsy anymore, in a plane. It's just about me. No, I come home. I'm coming home. And it's really, I could cry right now. Because for 25 years, that's not our lives. It's get in a plane, get off a plane, get on a red eye, teach all day, move on to the next studio or next country. And I mean, we all know Karina Smirnoff. We competed together. That woman is successful in the dance industry on Dancing with the Stars. She now has a newborn baby. And I bet you if we were talking to her, she would say, I feel balanced right now. And you just make it work. And I'm happy for all the parents in our dance industry because we're showing it can be done.
Exactly. And I think, when we're competing, it's so exciting, right? All of us love to compete, perform, and
Is it?
right? I mean, if we would not like it, we wouldn't have done it, right? I mean, the bottom line, yes, there is stress attached to it, but we're kind of addicted to that adrenaline rush, right? And we think like this is great. But then
Yes.
and we had this conversation, like even at COVID over here, we're under quarantine or we are at standing still a little bit, and you start kind of thinking, okay, where's my life going? What am I doing? Yes, I've gotten this and that and this. And then if you have no family, there is really no direction. There is really
No.
no love. Yes, we have a bunch of friends, right? And we feel great as a coaches, right? When we show up, people are excited to see us, but it's not so personal, right? There is so many, and people just like what we do, not necessarily who we are. Versus when you have your husband, when you have your kids, it's a completely different way of belonging, of loving each other with the good, with the bad. You're creating this unit
Yeah.
that it's so,
It is.
there's nothing else like that.
But at the same time, when you say, when you go to studios, it's not they like you for what you are and what you do. I must say, I've made that change a few years ago. Maybe some are not in that position. I was in that position where I said, no, I'm not just going to go on a plane just to make money. and good money.
Yes.
No, I'm going to studios where I do have a personal relationship. And the studios that I just mentioned, Eric and Michelle Hudson, Toby and Harmony, Golden, we're going on vacation together. We're skiing together. We're bringing the kids all together. And that to me is even more of a balance, because when you go to these studios every 3-4 months, you really build a relationship not only with the owners but also with the pro-am students and the pros, because there's that consistency. And to me, I wish more professionals and coaches would start changing their lives a little bit, because we're just running after the next paycheck. And then what I don't like, and now I might piss off some people, but I don't care, that the judges are the competition owners. The competition owners are the ones that are coaching. That needs to change. And and I'm looking at a coach, teacher, and studio owner and judge. I get it, but there needs to be a healthy balance.
No, absolutely, because it's complicated. It gets really complicated. And like you said, like I've been fortunate as well. The places that I go to, I call them my friends. I don't even call them they're my clients. I'm going to see my friends, and we always call each other like, oh my God, our time is coming, because we just need to interact with one another. The love, the joy.
You've always been that way. You've always been that bubbly person that just cannot not like someone. You will always like something. You're always that positive. I can join that bandwagon. You can see it on my face if I don't like someone.
Yes, I'm positive, but I surround myself with people that allow me to be that way. If I don't like you, I'm not coming, because I refuse to pretend. Like, you know me, I don't pretend. If I like you, I like you. And if I don't, I'm not going to be mean to you. I'm just going to leave, and we just have a relationship.
Good for you.
So I'm actually very fortunate. Like, you know, even that whole thing, Kasia's voice, it's meet my extended family. Meet the people that actually mean something in my life. Not just anyone, not just a bunch of strangers. Of course, I know a bunch of strangers as well. But there is so many of us that made a difference in my life, right? That made me happy, contributed. I contribute to their lives. And I feel like my group is actually pretty big. Now, my closest friends are very few, right? But I have pretty big group of extended friends that are still really close to me, and I enjoy interacting with them, right? And sometimes you have the same thing. You go somewhere and you might not see them for a long time. You start a conversation and like you've never left.
Oh no, it's
fabulous.
That way. In the close group that you see at home, I make a point. I don't teach in Utah.
Right.
I'm only in the office and do LeBlas related stuff. I barely ever, gosh, I don't remember the last time I taught in Utah, because I want to be home. I am doing some virtual stuff, and I'm doing my weekly webinars every Monday, but actually, no, who am I kidding? On Friday, I'm doing a virtual private lesson with a person in Minnesota. And I'm thinking, you know what? Maybe I'm going to do that more often, but I'm only doing it not because of easy money. It's because I don't have to go on a plane. I can stay with my family. I can do this. And like you and I were talking, I'm in my home. My family's right around the corner, and that part I love. But looking at a screen is getting old.
Oh no, I hear. And we had this conversation, right? That it's because you're doing, I think so could you tell us about your classes? You say on Mondays, right? So give us a little bit so we can invite people.
So Monday, June 1st at 4 p.m. Eastern time, which is 1 p.m. Pacific time, I'm doing an hour webinar. And I've been doing that pretty consistently. Last week was, of course, Memorial Day Monday. And I'm covering from American style to international style, because again, international and rhythm, people just love to just do that. So I kind of stick with factual technique and then share my opinion, so that the people part of the webinar are getting perspectives, so that they can choose which perspective do I like for me. So if you take the Walter Laird book, which in Europe we needed to know inside and out before you could do one comp as a professional. So I knew that book, know that book inside out, I use it, and then I go to the other side, the creative side. Who are you? What do you understand from this technique? So I'm giving different opinions.
Correct.
And I think the choice should not be the coach telling you this is the choice. You should give people opinions and options, but you, the dancer, chooses what option you're going to do because you're going on the floor and have to experience it. So that's kind of the way I'm going. This week I'm doing my favorite dance, Paso Doble. So there's nothing American style about it. But I really want to talk about what Julie Fryer and I did in the early 90s. We were kind of the rebels and started saying, hey, wait a minute, we call Paso Doble a Spanish dance. But in Spain, that is country two-step. What really is the Spanish dance is flamenco, which we studied for years. So we introduced flamenco as part of the Paso Doble. So I'm kind of going to share that more in depth and how you actually can do the flamenco arms, because it's beautiful to add it in your Paso Doble, and no one can say, hey, that's not Paso Doble, because if you talk about the national dance of Spain, it is flamenco. So this week I'm very excited. Monday, and anyone can sign up. I can share the link with you if you want to share it with your friends.
That would be great.
Then anyone.
It's on Zoom or it's on Facebook?
I do that on Zoom, and everyone gets an email with the ID meeting an hour before, and also it's available for 2 days after, because maybe people are working. They can't join right away, so they get an email afterwards, and that email has the 1 hour webinar, and they can look at it for 2 days.
Okay.
Yeah,
correct.
Thank you.
So absolutely. So we're going to definitely share that. We're going to try to get as many people to your webinar. I'm doing some classes as well, and kind of like what you said, it's when I've done my first one-on-one, kind of like what you're going to be doing, the first one, I find it exhausting. I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. But then I've done my Zoom classes, right, for a few weeks now. I do it 3 times actually a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. And I love it, right?
Yeah.
It's like you kind of get your own groove into doing stuff. We're doing different exercises. I have to be more articulate about how I explain things, because I can't have them. They have to ask me more specific questions. We also do, I ask my girls or my participant, because it's not only just girls, to show me if they're brave enough. Okay, show me the piece that we work on, and then as a whole group we give criticism and pointers. You can do this, you can do this. So now they're training the eye. And at first everybody was like, I don't want to show. Now it's like, okay, look at me and show.
Yeah, they're all volunteer.
That's it. And it's great, right? Because you're not only seeing me, but you actually see someone who looks just like you, or who might be in your age group, going, oh, this is how that looks. This is good, this is bad, right? So on one hand, that's all fabulous. On the other hand, dancing is just like relationship. You can talk on the screen. You can do online dating. And at some point, you got to touch that person.
Yeah.
At some point, there has to be, the beauty of ballroom dancing is that we're doing this together, right?
Yeah.
So I think that the progress could be great. We can analyze, we can do stuff, drills. But then I feel like we're all going to be so hungry to actually like, oh my God, we can actually touch. We can, I call this yank on one another, move one another, and enjoy the dancing, right? Because I feel that so many of us, because of being so separated, are becoming so unhappy. Like you are fortunate, you have family. I'm fortunate, my family lives so close to me. But so many people are on their own. Yeah. And it's lonely. It's really lonely.
If you look at it from that perspective, yes, it can be lonely. But one of the things that I have seen, which I thought was going to be a negative thing, is a positive thing with virtual. So I don't do Pro M1 one-on-one. When I go, there has to be the pro, because I want them both to hear the information. I will not do one-on-one. And the reason for it is, and virtual is proving my point. Pro-Am single dancers or 2 pros having to dance side by side by themselves, it creates independence. Everyone, male or female, have to start thinking for themselves. And like you said, it was brilliant. They have to be more specific in their questioning, and we have to answer so on point, because we can't just show it and hold them and just move them in the right direction. Yes. You have to do it with your cognitive words. And I love it. And I think also it's weeding out the good from the bad in our industry.
Oh,
And because the good ones actually are keeping engaging with their students. I mean, talking about our friend Steve Vasco, I believe he is teaching full time virtually. And I love it because you're thinking outside the box. You're not afraid to say, all I got is my words, and the body has to show it correctly.
absolutely.
So that it's, but what I love about it is that it creates independence. Pro-Am students have to make their own choices
Exactly.
because there's no one to hold their hands, and it shouldn't be that way because dancing with each other should be a choice, not a necessity.
Correct.
And I feel oftentimes, and maybe our Western and Eastern European influence on the United States might be a little bit more, you do as I say. And oh, that does not go well with me. It's, to me, we have to create independence. And I believe that virtual helps with that.
Oh, you could not put it better, because that's exactly, it's a little bit more challenging. And I think for the pros, they kind of understand that, but with our students, a lot of time they're so dependent on the teacher, right?
Yeah.
In the sense like, oh my God, I don't even know where I'm going. I left, right? I have to pick up my arm. I have to do this.
Yeah.
But like,
What? I have to know my timing?
oh, I know.
What? I
I know.
have to know what body action I'm doing? Really?
Yes. Well, yeah, exactly. It's such a aha moment, right? So, but I could see that because we've been doing this for a while now, that at first it was a little unsettling, but now they actually enjoy it. Now I could feel that the questions have changed. Then they practice, then they come back with me. Oh, could you look at this? And could you look at this? And so it gives them so much more empowerment. That's what I like.
Yeah.
It's independent, but also because I think sometimes in a pro-am world, especially for women, right? We always tell them, well, you have to do what the teacher says. Do this,
Yeah.
do this, do this, right? And especially when you have a teacher who is maybe not as experienced in teaching, maybe a good dancer, but not experienced in teaching, they just drag these women, right? Just hold
Yeah.
on for their, and enjoy the ride. And all of a sudden,
Yeah.
they realize, oh, I can turn on my own. I can stop on my own. I could actually, like you said,
Yeah.
make your own choices. You are
Yeah.
completely independent, separate
Yeah.
human being. Yes, we hold hands, but I frankly don't want to look like my guy, and I don't want my guy to look like me.
No. Well, yeah. Well, there you go. Yeah. No, it's and even for the pros too. I think this is a great time for pros, and I think amateurs too. Top amateurs, anyone. Let's include anyone. I think this time it sucks, and I really feel for competition owners. Because if that was your main income for the year, I feel for you as a business person. But from a dancer's point of view, and how many pro-am, they have 3, 4 lessons a week. They go to 5, 6 competitions. Pros, almost every weekend, they're going to do competitions. This is a time to reflect. Who am I? What do I really believe in? Am I with the person I want to take lessons with? Am I with the person I want to dance with? Am I with the person I want to live with? This is a time when we have to reflect. And if you do, and you make the choices that work for you, you come out of this in better shape, happier, and with a clear goal. And I must say, we have been reflecting, Josh and I, my husband, and even with Daniel. I mean, kids don't go to school for the last 3 months. What do you think that does now they're home? Ooh, you realize how much we appreciate the teachers. 6 hours a day. They are not ours.
Yeah.
So we had to deal with it. And we had to sit down. We could not lose our patience. We had to change our schedule. But when you do, you come out stronger. And I wish that for all the pro-am students, amateurs, the pros, to really, it's not too late. Reflect. Are you living your life?
Totally. It's like, for me, it's like you have to start asking yourself who you are and what makes you your best. And lots of time we are so caught up, what are people going to think? What are the judges going to think? What my teacher going to think? What my family going to think? The Eastern European thing. What am I going to tell at church? What are the friends going to think? And we have to put that aside. There are no one there anymore judging us, right? The question is, what do I want from my career, from my life, from having kids, not having kids, like you said? Do I like dancing with this person, or I'm dancing just because so and so said I should?
Yeah.
Right?
And when is the right time? Your biological clock is ticking.
That's that's it.
Well, actually, I'm talking on behalf of women now because my biological clock is.
But you know, I think when you start reflecting, I've noticed that no matter what age you are at, and maybe when you're extremely young, like teenagers, early 20s, we think slightly different. But as we start getting into our 30s, 40s, you end up looking, okay, we're all going in one direction. You know, there is no other exit, as at some point we're going to die. And you start asking yourself, do I live the life that I want to live? Or am I just busy doing what society tells me, or my parents tells me, or my neighbors? Am I actually living my life, or am I just existing? Right? And sometimes I feel, even when you're doing something as happy as what we do, competition and this, and it seems it's vibrant, it's exciting, but then the question is, am I doing this because I just gotten so used to, or am I still choosing to
I can tell you that's what it is. People are just used to it. They're just chasing their own tails. Just keep going. Because the more you go, or the more expensive the dress, or the more makeup, that will make me the winner. No, what makes you a winner doesn't even include a medal. Right. What makes you a winner is that you walk on that floor knowing who you are and enjoying what you do, rather than, oh, did I pass the exam today? Am I going to win today? Rather than, well, if you do who you are, then you will win. It might take a little longer. Stop playing the game. Start playing you. If we all focus on who we believe we are as a person, what we stand for, and the characterization of each of the dances, we look at which competition do I want to do because I like the city where it's at, instead of, let's look at the judging panel. Oh, this week I can win because of the judging panel. No.
Not, you know what? I think the judging panel shouldn't even be on the website, because you so many times, and I had a conversation with one of the pros, oh, I don't want to go because I do not know these people. I'm like, okay, I hear you. So just imagine you're walking onto the floor, we're standing, I say, oh, excuse me, we're not judging the couple. Why? Because we do not know them. Well, you cannot do this to me. I'm like, well, you're doing this to us. Like, so if you do not want to go because you do not know who these people are, you have the same right. And all of a sudden, no. I'm like, well, you can't go, this is good for me, but it cannot be good here. So I totally agree. I mean, all these things are so like this.
Because I don't have any stake in any competition. I know you do. So you have to be somewhat diplomatic. But you can also add something to your competition that people enjoy wanting to come.
And I do have to tell you, and you know me for all these years, being the competition owner and standing your ground of, I don't like push people. I let them know we have an event. I am not someone who's going to force you. Even the people that are close to me, I don't ever use ultimatum or, you know, you're working with me, you have to support. I give them the choice, right? And even with the judges, right? We try, my thing is always, am I happy with my choice? And sometimes it calls me because some people might not agree, or they think I should make a different choice, more business oriented or more coaching oriented. And it gets tough. Sometimes as a coach, you would make this decision. As a studio owner, you will make this decision. As an organizer, as a friend, right? You have pulled all these things that your own guts are being pulled in so many different directions, right? And then you have to ask yourself, back to the question, who you are. If you understand who you are and what's important to you, it's easier to make correct choices for you. But I think so many people are being pulled, oh, I should do this and I should do this. And these people expect to.
There are so many easy things that our industry can do to make changes. A few years ago, I did my exam on purpose so I can judge in the United States. I did it for this one couple and I judged, but I said, I want for the open competitions, visual marking. So everyone sees.
Oh my God. I think that would be so awesome. I'm right there with you.
Oh, and I have many more things that are simple, but that's what they do. So a press conference, only with the 6 finalists plus 1 coach, and the judges and the moderator. press conference. The judges can be asked questions why they placed visually in front of the entire audience. Boom, it will be filmed and it will be broadcasted on one of the social media outlets. So the judges know up front, I'm going to have to show in front of everyone what I do. And then, of course, I've made this discussion with many people, or had this discussion with many people. They say, yeah, but then one judge will say 6, and then by the end, they will also say 1. Yeah, but if you have the press conference after, anyone can ask that person, why did you go from 6 in the first dance to 1st in the second dance? Because it was 6, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Hey, that 6 stands out. Why? And if you have a moderator, I mean, John De Palma, he was on board.
You know, then lots of time people, then the competitor said, we don't want to be so stressed because they're so not used to, like in Eastern Europe, I mean, in Europe, just general, we know when we say you're not good, you're not good. It's nothing personal, just straighten your leg, do this. Over here, we have to pretend everybody is okay. We don't want to stress the couple because what if you see that the judges don't like you? Now you feel bad. Well, that's part of the game. You see that people don't like you.
What do you think in gymnastics or ice dancing? Basketball, there's 10,000 people in the audience booing, screaming, encouraging, disencouraging. I mean, that's the pressure of competition.
Exactly.
That's when you become the champion. And let me tell you, not to brag right now, but Julie and I won 2 world championships, losing the first 2 dances, winning the last 3 dances. If it weren't, I believe we would not have been world champion if it weren't for the visual marking, because we knew where we stood and we said, keep your head in the game, focus on the dance, stay in there. It ain't over until it's over. Exactly. And winning rumba, paso doble, and jive.
Exactly. That's how you create champions, because it's not only about the body, it's your mindset. It's seeing, and are you able to perform under the pressure? That's what competition is all about. And us pretending, again, that it's all good and we're all fabulous, that's not real life. In real life, nothing is like this. You're being judged. There is a consequence, right? There are people that like you. There are people that don't. Go for the interview. They say, well, thank you very much. We don't like you. And you have to cope with that. So I agree with you. I think that would be so great.
Make the time to give the top, all 4 styles of the pros, top amateur, and the scholarship pro-am. Give them the special feeling they deserve, because it makes it more important. It becomes more of an event, and the audience will not be sitting there asleep. I believe it will put more audience in the seats during the day, because, oh my gosh, what are the judges going to do? The couples have the right to ask why. They can learn. The judges know up front, they're being held accountable. And to me, and this is, if I would be that person, I put this couple 6th and everyone else does 1st. I believe in me and who I am. I will motivate why I put that couple 6th, because I gave him 6 because I believe in me. You said earlier, I would love to have visual marking. Guess what? You own a competition, and as far as I know, it's still on, right, in August?
Yes, we're hoping. We're waiting for California to tell us if it's possible or not. Our hotel right now is closed. They're supposed to open in June, so we will see if we can go 3 days, if we might have to scale it down, what's happening. But trust me, you don't have to say it. I was just already thinking that would be so great.
I would offer to help wherever I can, because when you do visual marking, you have to add the conference afterwards. And even 20 minutes. It's just 20 minutes. Each couple can ask a question. And maybe it's 5 minutes because no one wants to talk. Well, it is truly giving the couples an opportunity to ask, why did someone stand out? Or maybe some of the judges, I wouldn't even need a question. I would want to share why I did what and give all 6 couples a little bit of my feedback.
I'm not so sure that I would be so interested in every couple asking, because then the normal question the couple asks, why didn't you mark me? So I would be much more interested in having maybe judges saying, what did they've seen? Why did they decide to put this couple on this couple? Because if you start asking everyone, all the judges, all the couples, this is going to be significantly more than 20 minutes. And then it becomes almost like
who wants to ask a question? And each couple is allowed to ask 1 question. So,
or something.
who do you want to ask?
Yeah. Yes.
But really, the plan is there. You never know how it works when you do it for the first time. That's it. And I think now with COVID-19, when the competitions come back, you better add something new to the table because there's a lot of choice, but it's the one that makes it special. And it's also, if you tell the Pro-Am, we're now going to the scholarship, we're going to do visual marking, and you are allowed to ask a question to your judges afterwards, how does that make them feel?
So that's a very good question, because oftentimes people like us think that's great because we've been exposed to this. We think that's fabulous. I would think 50% of the people would be scared and they would not want to do it. They would want to see how is it going to go, how critical the people are going to be. So I think it would be nice, maybe even beforehand, to do like a survey and see what it is that they actually would like to, right? Not necessarily to give even so much power, but to kind of see where people are at. Because what you and me, who are like, okay, let's get this down, let's move, what we find it exciting and what general public finds exciting, right, sometimes could be a little different. So I would like to actually see, would that be some, because even when I ask the question for my girls, usually there's a silence. So then I ask question on their behalf. I'm like, I know you're thinking this, I've worked with you, right? So we kind of can guide them and maybe do it in some kind of less threatening way first, and then kind of see, yes, that could be a great progress. Because I think from perspective of how much faster they can progress, I think that's great. But to first overcome this, oh my God, now everybody's gonna see how people see me, that would be probably scary to the introverted. And there is a lot of students that are that way, you know?
But this is why it pushes them to face that fear. And to me, so to come back, so in growing LeBlas, my company now, had to do it from the ground up because I do fitness all my life, but now to have a fitness format. So we gave people choices and we did a lot of surveys. And of course, what happened was 50-50, 60-40, 55-45. So that means you can't go wrong either way. I'm seeing as a business, and I would say a worldwide company now. So I can say that we've built a successful business. I'm looking at it, what can we do? Not, we shouldn't. No, we should.
Exactly.
But
yeah.
how let's do it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what are the benefits of it and what do we stand for? So back again to the conversation, who you are, what you want to do. Do you want to play the same game? Do you want to move the game forward? No. Right? What's aligned with you personally and how much risk are you willing to take growing the company, growing the things? Yeah.
And when you do it, so we've done kind of so at that competition, we didn't do the conference room, but we had 7 people from different styles, Pro-Am, Pro, moderator, judge, competition owner, and the audience could ask questions. And it was nice. People liked it because suddenly they could ask questions. They were part of the process rather than take it or leave it. Now, of course, I would present this as a take it or leave it. There must be open marking and there must be a press conference because you need to hold the judges accountable. And it could even be the moderator asking the questions by looking at the number. It could be completely the moderator. So, and if I would be such moderator, I am a judge, but I've also been a pro. And I teach Pro-Am, not one-on-one. So I would look at it as objective as possible, that no one is thrown under the bus. We have to keep respect towards the judge who completely was out of left field.
Right, and you said, you have to have respect for the judges. And even if everybody says it's one, and I believe I don't like you for whatever reason, it's great to share that versus, oh my God, that's a crazy person. Clearly, there was something important to that person that they thought you didn't deserve to be first. And so I think that would be a great conversation, even for us judges, right? Because of course, it would be nice for the couples or the students to know that. But even for us judges, what I think would be great to hear other judges' opinion. Because one of the things that I actually would like to see, that we have our own conventions once a year, maybe once in 2 years, that we go and it's an open mic, right? Not necessarily one person lecturing. We have an open mic. If people want to come in, 10, 15, we can put the limits how long you're going to be there. And we talk about things that are important. When I'm coaching, I see this. This is what important. This is what I like to see. Yeah. This is the question. So overall, as a group of judges, we're cohesive. We have the same point of view. So when we go to the competition, we already are aligned with what it is we're expecting to see out of couples. And right now, we do not know unless you talk to your friend, right? You talk to this couple person. Yeah. But so I think this could actually move the whole industry in being a little bit more cohesive.
Oh, I believe it. And you just opened Pandora's box. What I did in my first few webinars is I took the Walter Laird book and I set people straight on the closed hip twist or the Alemana. There are differences between a curl and a spiral because people in our industry just think it's two different names for the same thing. Oh no, honey, they are completely different. Alemana, underarm turn. Things like that. They're not legislated. They should be legislated. And everyone worldwide should go by that book. Alex Moore for standard, Walter Laird for international Latin. American rhythm still has to be created. So if those things all start to happen, we are in for a very healthy future in our industry. I would be so proud of you if you are finding a way and talking to Lee Wakefield to not use "there is no time" as an excuse, because you can make time.
I do the one thing from the organizer perspective. Sometimes there is that element, but if we want to do something like this, we can move things around. We can find the time, especially for the competitions that are not so huge just yet, right? And there's so many of us that are not like squeezed for time so much. So I think that could definitely happen among the medium-sized competitions, right? Because it could definitely create something and start from open marking, and then say having the press conference, maybe not immediately, but having it even at some different time when people are invited and it's open, and we can open, if we can maybe do a different version that would fit particular competition.
Yeah, the only reason why I would suggest, and I'm taking basketball, any major sport, NFL, NBA, why is the conference right away? Because it's fresh. Say the Pro Latin. Up front, the Pro Latin couples, you know up front, hey, this is what we're going to do. Are you okay with that? The judges, you talk, everyone is okay. They know it. You only do it with the Pro Latin. Just to test, see how people react. It doesn't take too much money or too much time, and you do it right after. And again, I'm willing to help because I've done the research and looking at other sports.
It could be done in that way because usually we change the panel. So we would just have to, I mean, there is some logistics from the organizer point of view that if there is another event, you have to have enough judges that you can take the Latin judges for the press conference with the Latin couples, and then you have another panel doing another competition. But that's logistics. Let's not get into it because
let's get into it. No, but it's easy though. Isn't oftentimes the pro rhythm or pro smooth, pro Latin the last event, the final?
The last event, yes.
The last event. You would have to plan it that way, but I think 90% of the time the pros are the final event. So, and you know, you can say on Friday we choose the American rhythm and on Saturday we choose the American smooth. Or look at the couples, do it under the radar. Talk to the couples that have signed up and say, hey, we have a plan. We have a strategy to revolutionize the ballroom dance industry. In Europe, I don't think we did one competition in Europe that was not visual marking, only Blackpool.
I would be really interested to actually find out why, because in America, they've actually had the two. Not often. When I was already competing, we've only done, I think Texas Challenge used to have the visual marking. And then there's just completely disappeared. So I would be actually interested knowing why we went completely away from that.
And to me in Europe, you can pull up your socks. If you think you're winning, if your ego thinks, oh, I won this comp, and then you get a cold shower. But if you see the marks and you thought you were going to win, you can still pull up your socks. You can pull your head back in the game because you see where you are. And to me, and we can talk out of experience because I've been there. I've seen the numbers. And guess what? On a fun note, Ray Rivers who is right there with you in San Diego. He was there in 1994, and he was one of those judges that gave us the first when we needed it. And so that's lovely because he's in, oh, that's funny because he's in San Diego.
Yes.
And we talk about it. Every time I see him, I say, thank you, Ray. Thank you, Ray.
One person to give you first and you go, oh my God, there's hope. Right? And then off you go. Or someone give you 1-6 and you go, oh my God, something is bad happening. So you, because I've noticed that lots of couples are not trained, they don't train their mind, they only train their body. But this is what operates your body. If you don't train your mind, the body, nothing to follow.
It has so much positive. Also, you still get a minute or 2 minutes to breathe in between, so you can kind of calm down from one dance, really get into the mood of the next dance. It really keeps the performances at a higher level too for the audience.
So, but I think of this many times that I'm like, why do we go away from it? I understand that it's scary. I was scared as well, right? Like, because you see it, you have to now, like you said, you have to reassess. You have to have a strong partnership. You have to be really committed to your partner. You have to have a conversation. In that minute that you heard, oh my God, the results are not going as well, or the results are going better. How can you stay calm and connected, not to mess up, just do your thing, right? So there is so great things. Now, would you get scared? Of course. Are there going to be some couples that are going to completely go downhill? Yes, but that's what competition is.
You're an athlete.
Exactly. Just suck it up and do it. Oh, trust me.
What do you think? All the people, the athletes that every 4 years they're getting ready. That's only every 4 years.
The pressure.
All that work.
Correct.
Now is the time to have to show up. I mean, gosh, the peer pressure or the ice dancing, the solo, the guys that can do eight quadruples in a row, and he just couldn't do it. And then he had a chance to do it again the following day to get back in the game. But if you don't see your numbers, you just see the end result, you don't know what you can do while you're in the moment. I hope that many dancers that watch this are going to react in your chat box. Say, Kasia, do it. Kasia, do it. We will come to your... This might be a business, a marketing tool. Pros might actually support your comp because they support the idea.
I hope so. And I hope there's going to be enough of them brave enough to say, you know what? Let's challenge ourselves. Let's see how we can do this, how we can shift the way things are. So I think, yeah, that would be great.
Every couple, and by the way, San Diego is not the worst place on the planet to go to, but any couple that complains about the politics should come to your competition. And I'm not selling your comp. No, I'm selling the first person that would finally just have the balls to do it.
That's awesome. So the message is look into yourself and find the balls. That's it.
Yeah. Find your cojones, grab the bull by the horn, which is probably the better way to say it, and go for it. I've always been not the rebel. I've always believed you have to be you. And luckily, I had a mentor like Louis VanAmstel who had no problem pushing us and pushing us off that cliff to say, you're going to be different. You're going to be unique. No one else is going to be like you. And at that time, I didn't think how valuable that lesson is as an adult later in life. You have to live your story.
Yeah, because it's not just for competing. This is just for you as a human being.
It
right?
is.
To make the choices, to get married, to have kids, to adopt the kids, because you have chosen this versus, oh, this is the norm. Like, who wants to be normal?
Oh gosh, if you look at this life.
Who wants to be in that box, right? So yeah.
You create your own box.
Exactly. That's it. You create your own box.
Yeah.
So I agree.
This was a pleasure.
All right, Louis, this was so great. I'm going to be brave. You better support me because otherwise I'm coming to kick your ass.
I don't call it support. I'm calling it pushing. I'm going to be pushing.
Okay, push.
I'm going to check in every week.
Exactly. We're creating a big box and create our individual lives. And now at the end, we have to bust the move. So, because we are excited about this new direction, we're going to take our ballroom world too.
Oh, I love it.
You are awesome. It's been so
to you. As always, individual, brave. I love you, my friend. Don't
Love you too,
hesitate.
Kasia. Thank you.
Thank you.